Greg Gutfeld calls out Jessica Tarlov for defending what he sees as irrational behavior. The Fox News late-night panel show Gutfeld is known for its fiery debates, quick wit, and sharp humor, and one of its most recent episodes did not disappoint. Host Greg Gutfeld, never one to shy away from controversy, clashed with his co-panelist Jessica Tarlov in a heated exchange that quickly became the focal point of the show. Gutfeld took issue with what he perceived as Tarlov's defense of irrational behavior during a segment on current political and cultural issues. The lively discussion exemplified the dynamic between Gutfeld and Tarlov, two voices on opposite ends of the political spectrum. While Gutfeld often leans into humor and sarcasm to critique progressive ideas, Tarlov, a democratic strategist, champions left-leaning viewpoints with sharp analysis and measured arguments. This latest exchange, however, was anything but measured, as the two sparred over a topic that ignited passionate responses from both. The heated debate. The clash began during a segment analyzing recent policy decisions and their social implications. Tarlov argued that the decisions, while unconventional, reflected the growing need for inclusivity and progress in a changing world. Her points centered on understanding and accommodating societal shifts, even if they might seem unconventional to some. Gutfeld, however, was quick to push back. "This isn't about inclusivity, it's about rationality," he said, interrupting her mid-sentence. "There's a difference between embracing progress and justifying actions that make no sense. You can't excuse irrational behavior under the guise of being progressive." Tarlov attempted to clarify her stance, emphasizing the importance of empathy and meeting people where they are. "We can't dismiss people's experiences just because they don't fit into a traditional framework," she argued. "Sometimes, what seems irrational to one person is perfectly rational in the context of someone else's lived reality." But Gutfeld wasn't having it. "Jessica, that's the problem. You're taking this postmodern approach where everything is subjective, no rules, no standards, no common sense. You can't run a society like that." The core disagreement. At the heart of the debate was a broader disagreement about how society should address controversial issues. While Tarlov emphasized the importance of adaptability and understanding, Gutfeld called for the preservation of logic and reason as the foundation of societal decisions. For example, the pair touched on topics like government policies that prioritize feelings over functionality and cultural movements that blur traditional norms. Gutfeld pointed to what he described as absurdities in education, workplace policies, and governance, where he believes ideological agendas have overtaken practicality. Tarlov countered by suggesting that many of these changes are necessary to address long-standing inequities. "Greg, we're not living in the 1950s anymore," she said. "Society evolves, and so should our policies. Sometimes that requires challenging norms and stepping outside of what's comfortable." Gutfeld fired back with his trademark humor. "I'm all for progress, but progress shouldn't mean tossing logic out the window and jumping into the abyss of chaos. If we're not careful, we'll end up with participation trophies for everything, including running the government." Audience reaction. The fiery exchange sparked reactions from both the studio audience and viewers at home. Clips of the debate quickly circulated on social media, with supporters from both sides weighing in. Fans of Gutfeld praised his no-nonsense approach, commending him for calling out what they saw as an overly idealistic perspective. "Greg is saying we're all thinking. Rationality has to come first," one user tweeted. Meanwhile, Tarlov's supporters applauded her for standing her ground and bringing empathy into the conversation. "Jessica's right. Change isn't always easy, but it's necessary for a better society," another commenter wrote. Even neutral observers found the exchange captivating, with many noting that the dynamic between Gutfeld and Tarlov is one of the show's strongest elements. "Love them or hate them, they keep it interesting," one fan remarked. The broader implications. The debate between Gutfeld and Tarlov reflects a larger cultural divide in contemporary society. On one side are those who advocate for preserving traditional values and applying a pragmatic lens to societal changes. On the other are progressives who argue that societal norms must evolve to meet the needs of an increasingly diverse population. Gutfeld's argument resonates with those who feel that certain changes are being pushed too quickly without sufficient consideration of their consequences. They worry that some movements, while well-intentioned, may undermine the foundational principles of society. Tarlov, however, represents the growing call for inclusivity and understanding in policymaking. Her stance appeals to those who believe that progress often requires challenging outdated systems, even if it means embracing ideas that initially seem unconventional. This clash of ideologies isn't unique to Gutfeld, but is emblematic of the broader political and cultural debates shaping the nation. Why their dynamic works. Despite their differences, the dynamic between Gutfeld and Tarlov is one of the reasons Gutfeld remains such a popular show. Their debates, while intense, often highlight the importance of having diverse viewpoints represented in public discourse. Gutfeld's sharp wit and humorous takes offer a counterbalance to Tarlov's measured and thoughtful arguments. Together, they create a lively environment where viewers can hear both sides of an issue, even if the exchanges occasionally get heated. As one fan put it, watching Gutfeld and Tarlov is like watching a tennis match, fast, intense, and entertaining. You might not agree with everything they say, but you can't look away. Conclusion. Greg Gutfeld's calling out of Jessica Tarlov for what he sees as defending irrational behavior is just the latest example of the fiery debates that define Gutfeld. Whether you side with Gutfeld's call for logic or Tarlov's emphasis on empathy and progress, there's no denying the importance of these discussions in today's polarized world. As the cultural and political landscape continues to evolve, debates like these will remain central to understanding and navigating the complexities of modern society. And, if nothing else, they make for compelling television.